At 7:41, good morning. Let's have a look at some of the newspapers for you, and we'll start with the Times, should we? Has the PM giving the green light for more North Sea drilling?
The Express says end this farce of 3-hour hold times as the tax office is named the worst offender in a call handling probe.
In The Guardian this morning, ministers are wanting curbs on 20-mile-an-hour speed limits in a push to woo the motorist vote.
And finally, The Star. 5 deluges are on their way as the curse of the British staycation strikes again. Summer brolly days is the headline there.
It's been grim. It's
really
been grim.
has.
Good for the garden, though.
Yeah.
Is all you can say. I keep saying that a lot
It's
at
not
home.
good for us, though, is it?
Very good for the garden. Let's go through those papers in a little bit more detail with former editor of the Daily Star, Dawn Neeson, and the writer and journalist Andy Jones. Good morning to you both. Let's talk about a seaside scandal in the Mirror, Dawn.
Can I just say I don't have a garden? Can it please stop raining?
Oh.
I don't have a garden. I've got a balcony. Right, OK, yeah, page 2 of the Daily Mirror is talking about... it's a new poll commissioned by the Lib Dems that's saying 43% of us are unlikely to visit the beaches this summer, not because of the weather, because of all the sewage that's been pumped onto them. And 23% of swimmers will stay out of the water. Now, this is, as we know, we've talked about it loads, haven't we? The water companies who are actually pumping sewage onto all our blue flag beaches are 1,500 times last year alone.
Lovely.
I know. I'm sorry if you're eating your breakfast, by the way. And the Environment Agency are now soon going to impose unlimited fines. At the moment, the fines are capped at £250,000, which for the water companies, no pun intended, is a drop in the ocean.
Yeah.
It's cheaper just to pay the fine rather than fix the problems that are causing it in the first place. And, you know, and they pay out billions in profits to their shareholders, and the people running the companies are earning fortunes in bonuses. And why can't they just spend that money on fixing the problem?
Well, you know, you don't really. It's not too much to ask.
When the fines are that small.
Exactly. But I mean, you know, the government have sorted that problem, and now they're going to be unlimited, but it's not happening yet. So.
No.
And the impact, the environmental impact is massive. The biodiversity impact is massive. But all those seaside businesses who are absolutely desperate for income, and it's completely wiped out by a business, the water business, who's completely out of control.
Because we are British, Andy, and even if the weather's like this, we will go and sit on the beach still, won't we?
And have a picnic.
Yeah, in our waterproofs.
yeah, we will. But it needs to be. Why we can't just be clean? We pay enough for our water service.
Exactly. If you were a private individual and you went and dumped all of that out there, or fly tipped or whatever, you'd be in front of a court, you'd be in prison, etc., etc. Because you're a company, it's like, oh well, you just pay a fine. Astonishing.
It is
Stop grinning.
scandalous. It is scandalous. Would you go for
He's got one of those looks on his face.
Well, I wouldn't swim in the sea anyway.
No.
Not over here. It's just too cold.
Yeah, there is that as well.
It is just too cold.
It's not.
But you want it to be clean. It's part of our history, our heritage, and our future. We want it to be nice. I don't think it's too much to ask.
OK, Andy, let's go to the front page of The Eye, shall we? And this is a cost of living story.
Yeah, we were talking about the sewage story that we all know about, the cost of living crisis. The Eye have done a study. 52% of Brits struggling with daily cost of life. 6 out of 10 are just about managing. We talk endlessly about sort of just up oil, and we talk a lot about the eco measures we were talking about. But all of this drives up the cost of living as well. If we can't afford fuels, it drives up the cost of living. If we don't have variations on energy, it drives up the cost of living. All of these different things impacted by our inability to have fuel security, and also inflation and the economic crisis, etc., etc. This huge impact is being felt in households all around the country, and I don't really feel like the government or indeed the opposition are threatening to get to grips with this.
How do they, though? I mean, look, I totally get the point, and a lot of people say the government needs to handle this. I don't quite know how they do it.
But the government, we were talking a moment ago about the government getting rid of tourism tax and saying, oh, well, it would save us money in the long run. The government has said that if it would lower different taxes, it would be a boost to the high street. It could put more money in people's pockets.
Yeah, but that doesn't affect the cost of living issue, does it?
I think one area they could tackle is the profiteering. We do know that, you know, some supermarkets are making an awful lot of money with profiteering. They don't need to put their prices up quite as they have done. And I think some of the energy companies are doing the same thing.
Yeah, a huge amount of price gouging. And the knock-on effect of this is there's been a huge spike in the use of debt collectors, both online and sort of unofficial debt collectors, people getting into this awful spiral in debt, and it destroys lives. People end up with all sort of losing absolutely everything. And there doesn't seem to be any way that the government have got a hold of this.
I mean, what strikes me in the headline on the eye is, another rate rise looms. Why do we need another interest rate rise? Inflation had made a surprise drop last month.
Yeah.
There are a lot of arguments out there saying actually these interest rate rises have no impact on this type of inflation.
No, and then the thing is with the interest rate rises and the mortgage situation at the moment, because so many people are on fixed rate mortgages, they keep putting the interest rates up, but it's not having an instant effect like it used to back in the day when everyone had sort of like variable rate mortgages. So they're not even waiting to see what the last interest rate rise, the effect that has, before they put it up again.
I mean, Liam Halligan, who we're actually talking to later, we can run this by him.
Oh, can we?
But last time I spoke to him about interest rate rises, he was saying it can take up to 12 months to feel the effect.
Yeah, absolutely, and we're not waiting, we're just putting them up.
And we've had, what, how many in a row now? 11?
I think it's 11, isn't it, or something like that?
Something like that.
Yeah.
I mean, we haven't even allowed these to settle into the economy to see what.
So I just get the impression someone is making a lot of money out of all of this.
13 we've had so far, I've just been told.
13.
Yeah.
Cost of train transport, cost of transport around the country as well. If you've got a business meeting in Newcastle, it costs you hundreds of pounds just to get there.
Yeah.
What does that do to the economy? What does that do to people not having meetings, not investing in different places because of it? There's all of these costs that private companies are allowed to gouge, whether it's supermarkets, oil, water, energy, train companies, and then it's like, oh, well, never mind, we allow private business, competitive markets or whatever, but we are feeling it in the pockets of ordinary people.
Should we talk food? Dawn?
Please.
Yeah,
Because it's one of these ridiculous stories, but it makes a good picture. Prince William.
That's why I picked this story, because this is page 3 of the Daily Mail. Prince shocks diners as he serves award-winning fast food from fan. And to be fair, there is a picture of 2 ladies looking, oh my God, and it's like this is what royals do, isn't it? They flip burgers, they shake hands, they cut ribbons, they kiss babies, they take flowers. Basically, it's the story is Prince William went to Bermondsey, which is in South London, and was serving burgers from a van to the shocked locals, as you said. But the point is, he's plugging his Earthshot Awards, the awards for environmentally friendly companies, and the burgers he was actually flipping are very environmentally sourced, and they're made by companies that won his Earthshot Awards previously.
Yeah.
So it's and the awards are coming up. I think the 3rd award is in October, so it's coming up basically.
He's wearing a microphone as well for some reason.
Yeah, because it's all part of a YouTube thing that they're 2 men he's pictured with as well, because they run the Green Burger Company. They do it on YouTube, so that's why they're all mic'd up. But it's just like it's a nice picture. It's not really a story though, is it? It's a royal doing what royals do.
Good headline, William the Burger King.
I know. See what they did there?
Burger King.
He could do his own Burger King, couldn't he? A Willy Whopper. I don't know whether anyone would buy it.
No.
Whopper, hey.
No, they wouldn't.
I don't know what your mind's in the gutter. Come on, I thought it was a perfect piece of marketing, a Willy Whopper.
Yes.
And he's got a crown already. King.
Right, yeah.
Oh, you're on such thin ice. What's this about the Sun? About a clearly well off but fat air passenger.
Yes, a tubby, they describe in the Sun. I love the way tabloids use words that I never use in daily life. But a tubby passenger from Nigeria to Heathrow, he got stuck in a first-class seat. So these were enormous bucket seats in the 1A seat, which is actually the biggest seat, which costs around $7,000 a flight. And they had to get a winch to get him out.
Yeah, that's not tubby, is it?
No. What I quite enjoyed was the engineering description of this incident. So every incident you have on an Airways flight, you have to have an engineering description of it. Okay. And they describe him as a volumetric passenger was stuck in 1A. Volumetric.
Oh. That's a new word.
It's very interesting, isn't it?
Yeah.
I found it quite interesting. But obviously, we all pay for... this gentleman wasn't impinging on anyone else because he was in his own seat, in first class. But increasingly, I find whenever I get...
He could have been in 1A and 1B by the sound.
Yeah.
And there's an R in between.
Yeah. But we increasingly see, and I see a lot on social media of these sort of influencers who are very large, boasting about how much room they take, how much they eat, etc., etc. And we are in this strange position on flights where somebody's freedom to eat however much they want and be very, very big. I'm not just talking slightly big. I'm talking very, very big. Is more valuable than your need to have space on a seat. And every time I get a flight, I'm always stuck in the middle. And I always have somebody else sort of impinging on my room.
So with a very plus-sized passenger, do you think they should have to pay for a second seat if they're moving into
I mean, this guy was already paying $7,000, so I don't know how big he was. But
if you're in economy,
typically, cattle class like me, I think there should be a sort of tiered sort of how much room do you need, particularly if it's a longer flight.
You do sometimes if you are very obese have to pay for 2 seats, don't you?
I don't know.
I think some.
But you should have to.
Has he had to
Yeah,
pay?
if you're taking up that much room.
Yeah.
But has he had to pay for the winch to get him off the aircraft?
That's not recorded.
But I mean, if you need winching out of your seat...
Sorry, it's not fun. It's not a funny story, Stephen.
It must be
How did they get the winch in the plane?
I don't know.
Because it's only got a small door.
So many questions. So many questions.
Well, it took 3 hours, didn't it, to sort it all out,
Yeah.
apparently.
Which must have delayed the follow-on flight. So
How big did he get in the flight that he could get in the seat and then couldn't get out of it?
I don't know how he got in the door.
What did he eat on the flight?
Well, it's first class. I suppose you fill your boots, don't you?
It's very odd.
So many questions.
Well, if anything's going to put you on a diet, you'd think that kind of experience would it not?
Yeah, because they say we're not talking about people who are, have a bit more weight or, for whatever reason. You're talking about someone who's eating themselves to death if they're that size.
Yeah, that is very,
But very wealthy while doing it.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah,
fair
we'll
enough.
seat 1A.
Dawn, should we look at the Great British weather?
Oh, shall we?
Please.
Yeah,
It's
let's.
not
Because
been great.
we talk about the weather, don't we? And with good reason. This is the front page of the Daily Star. A summer brolly day, see what they did there. And they've, for some reason, best known to the Daily Star, macked up a picture of a dog under a tree with an umbrella. No idea.
I mean, you used to run the paper.
Yes, used to. I write a column for them every Wednesday. It's brilliant, by the way. Right, OK, this is page 5. Another lovely picture of this, Ellie. Washout. Summer holiday rain plunges into August. Been a rubbish July, I think everyone will admit that. We are actually facing an even worse August by the sound of it. Forecasters have warned the school holidays are set to be a soggy write-off as autumn's come early. After weeks of rain, the first half of August, we are facing 5 deluges.
Yes.
I'm going to say that word. It's going to rain a lot, basically.
Yeah.
Atlantic low pressure due to hit Wednesday, Saturday and next week on Thursday and Sunday. Rainfall is almost double.
Oh, wonderful.
Smashing.
Sorry, that's cheered everyone up, isn't it?
Oh, well, that's really lovely. On that note, you can go.
Thank you.
Dawn, Andy, thank you very much indeed. We'll see you later on for some sunshine, hopefully.
Of course, always.
Yeah.
Well, we've already got a brief outlook from Dawn, but let's get a full weather forecast now with Jonathan Vauntry.